Sheth is going to fall back. Popping up the production tab. Sheth was droning the entire time behind that. Back up to 50, 60 drones there, 49 for Kiwikaki. And the big question here is, what is Kiwikaki going to transition into? We see a robotics facility just finishing there. Is he going to throw down that robotics bay very, very quickly, or is he going to just use this observer to scout out to see what his opponent is doing? And here is something that we were talking about yesterday in that Latin American Invitational, getting the ground armor very, very quick and not getting that ground weapons level 2, which a lot of Protoss players sometimes do get.
I mean, Kiwikaki has to be scrappy at this point. He doesn't really have the time to afford the Twilight Council. He does have a decent amount of probes up, 56 up at this point in time. I would expect that Kiwikaki is going to do one of two things, a huge timing push to try to end the game with a follow-up, or he's going to try to take a third and play a game in the way that we saw Huck play. Despite the fact that that push failed, the tech from Sheth was pushed back very, very long. We see the layer only just now finishing up that burrow, but a very fast infestation pit, a very cool play from Sheth, and indeed it looks like Kiwikaki is going for that third base.
Hallucination has been started for Kiwikaki, the trickster Protoss, as a lot of people should call him, because, well, you know, almost messes up, or does mess up the Nexus placement there. He had to cancel it.
Tricky.
He's so tricky that he tricked himself.
Building the Android Nexus, as it is called. If anyone catches that reference, then you are a friend of mine. We see the robotics facility, or excuse me, the robotics bay, allowing production of Colossi coming up. More Immortals popping out, as we have seen Sheth have a predominance of roaches on the field. The hatch is down at the bottom right, and this roach infestor mixture is becoming very popular because so many Protosses rely on those Immortals to deal with the roaches that one single little neural parasite can eliminate those scary Immortals.
A Warp Prism is coming out for Kiwikaki, and color me excited because I love seeing Warp Prisms being used in games, simply because if you throw a piece of paper at it, it might just fall over and die. An Overseer coming in from Sheth. He does go ahead and goop up one of the warp gates there, but he does see the fact that this third base is going down, and a big push from Sheth.
But no roach speed from Sheth. Oh, this is a devastating mistake. This is going to be a fairly easy defense.
There's the Warp Prism
from Kiwikaki. The Warp Prism flies right on over Kiwikaki with a very calm defense, and these roaches are going to be so easy to zone without any speed upgrade at all. Sheth continuing to try to break into the main. A gigantic error. We see the Infestor now reaching the front lines, gets a fungal growth off. Sheth might be able to break this, but it looks like the position of Kiwikaki way too strong, and I cannot emphasize enough how blunderous it was to have forgotten that roach speed. And now they try to run away, but it's an easy chase for Kiwikaki. He's going to get several more free kills.
In that last attack, Sheth Minerals got very, very close to 2,000. We see 21 roaches in production, but here in the south we have that Warp Prism. Is a paper plane going to fly in its general direction, or is it going to warp in some units and take out this fourth base of Sheth? We're about to find out here. Kiwikaki putting it into the Warp Prism mode. What is it going to warp in? Does not have any tech like DTs or anything like that. We do have one random roach here burrowed at the ramp of Kiwikaki. Going back over to the Warp Prism, nothing being warped in just yet. Third base fully up and saturated there from Kiwikaki. He's going ahead and getting that Twilight Council, of course, for those upgrades, but also maybe for some added tech like Blink. Extended Thermal Lance about halfway complete. Here come two Zealots being warped in from Kiwikaki with a third. Queen is just about to pop out. They could definitely take that down. 150 minerals lost there from Sheth.
And now Sheth, he needs to get that larva inject up. No, it looks like he will avoid that for now. Kiwikaki again with a very meticulous, carefully planned control. Still target firing it. We see the Zerglings, the Queens overrunning it, and Infestor pops out. The drones really should go back to mining. Kiwikaki taking such little damage with that heavy armor upgrade. The one small push from Sheth does get taken down, and once again we see Sheth up at maxed and Kiwikaki down at 120.
Sheth actually maxed so fast right there. If we go ahead and look in the center of the map, it does have quite a bit of Infestors. Trying to find that big roach count, but if you pop up the unit tab, he's currently at 40 roaches. Where in the world are all those roaches right now, Sean?
The roaches are
like
spread out.
Spread out in the center of the map. Doesn't look too much of a fearful forest, but he's currently maxed. does have quite a few minerals.
Uh-oh, it's another warp in from Kiwikaki down at the bottom right now. It's
no, the queen is off creep, Sean.
The queen. Oh, that off queen creep is awful. Off creep queen. Whatever. Sean can't talk. We do see Liquid Chef now moving down to the bottom left. Going to try to deny this fourth base. There the Zealots are ripping up this expansion again. Another queen is likely going to fall down, so Chef just goes for the huge attack. Kiwikaki back into a corner, trying to throw up those force fields, but does he have speed yet? Oh no, Roach speed not researched. It's a very easy defense by Kiwikaki at this point. I'm shocked that Chef has not noticed that his roaches are moving so slowly.
I gotta feel like Kiwikaki has a huge grin on his face right now, but Sheth probably does too, just to make sure that we're fair and not biased here. But those Colossus were just ranging down those roaches from behind the force fields. It was so easy to defend against that attack. At the same time, we see a hive very close to completing. Neural Parasite here, about to finish as well, but Kiwikaki is thinking about moving out, or just thinking about clearing up all of this creep in the center of the map.
I don't think that Kiwikaki's food has been anything but 129 all game long. He seems to not get maxed in the slightest. I mean, it really goes to show you the way that the 7-gate can eat into your production later. You need to get all those expensive upgrades, the expensive units like the Colossus, like the Twilight Council, like the Dark Shrine. Looks like Kiwikaki hasn't quite gotten the chance to build up, and we see another batch of slow roaches. Oh, Sheth.
There we go, Sean. Neural Parasite is complete. So is Force Field, because you spawn with that, and it is so strong against roaches, zoning them where you want them to be. The infestors do get two Neural Parasites off. These are going to do a ton of damage. One of the Colossus just waltzing into a huge group of roaches, and Sheth is actually looking very strong right now at this third base of Kiwikaki.
But the roaches can't catch up to the Colossus because they don't have speed. In an amazing turn of events, Sheth has managed to break into this third base, is doing some good damage, but the DTs are up. But a very nice fungal reveals one of them. Are there going to be more Overseers? There's an Overseer morphing in right now, but the third base gets taken down by a DT with this one warp in. Sheth suddenly playing a low econ game, one of Kiwikaki's biggest strengths. Finally cleaning up those DTs back home. This is suddenly a very close game.
Right now, Kiwikaki is not even mining except from with 3 probes down here in the south. Take a look at Sheth. He's mining from 2 bases at the moment, and one of the hatcheries is rebuilding, so it's going to be long distance mining. DT's doing wonders right now for Kiwikaki, but Sheth does have this army and doubles the supply of the Protoss player. This is not looking good for Kiwikaki from range.
What a wild game, a 7-gate push where Sheth looked like he was about to lose, and then the instant Sheth held it off, he started to make some big errors defending his bottom right, not getting the roach speed, and now all of a sudden the counter push by Sheth is enough. That goes to show you how good that macro can end up being. I mean, that is a great sign.
Yeah, that was a great game. We see Sheth right there crunching his knuckles. He's so excited. He can't even believe he won that, putting his head into his hands. Kiwikaki's got to be a little bit upset, but man, that attack early on from Kiwikaki was absolutely insane. I'm sure that's going to be popping up on the ladder. That's going to catch a lot of Zergs off guard.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very creative build from Kiwikaki, a very nice play off, but at the same time, I'm a little concerned about Kiwikaki's late game play there. I think he could have gotten into a better position. I was constantly surprised at how little money he had going into his transitions in the late game.
So we're going to be moving on to game 2 here.